This week in the field, composing in the dark on the island of Jeju, South Korea. Hey everyone, I'm Scott Davenport. Welcome to In the Field. Thanks for joining me today. Real quick before I get started, I'll be announcing workshops for 2019 in about 3 to 4 weeks. If you are interested and want to be one of the first people to know what workshops I have coming up, join my mailing list. You can find the information on my website. Bottom of every page, it's got a subscribe button. And no spam. Once a month you get a newsletter and you get notified of things like new workshops before the general public knows. Today I'm digging into the archives from a trip I made last summer through Asia, and one of the stops was Jeju, South Korea. This is an island off the southern coast of South Korea, and it's gorgeous. It's got lots of landscape opportunities, and one of the places I wanted to photograph was Sunrise Peak. It's one of the Unesco World Heritage Sites. Really cool location. Now, before I show you the footage, I will point out this was taken, more than a year plus ago. My video skills have gotten better since then, so cut me a little slack on the video quality for this particular episode, and enjoy. An hour before sunrise. Entire town is asleep, and hopefully I'm not going to have an issue getting down to the shoreline to get some beautiful sunrise photos. I'm not going to climb up to the peak. I scouted that yesterday, and I think the better composition is going to be down at the seafloor. Starting to get the first taste of this place. Some rocks over here, and then that leads to this ginormous crater that you can see silhouetted, and it curves around into this, where this still dark cove. I'm taking a bunch of test shots. I'm trying different compositions out, and I just fired off one. Let's see if we can get that in focus like that. And you can see the different angles I'm trying to take on this, trying to figure out just the composition. So when the light comes up, I'll be able to do things. This one's here is pretty good. I just don't like that I'm missing some of the ocean out here. And that's really just a limitation of how vast this place is. And even at 16 millimeter, I just don't have enough of a wide angle. So that tells me I'm going to be mounting vertical and doing a pano at least at one point while I'm here as the light comes up. All right, tried a few other compositions here. And I think I settled on my composition, at least for the first shot when the sun comes up. I like between this one and this one, you notice a little shift in perspective. I raised the tripod a little bit. I'm shooting downward a little more. I don't know. I'm liking that just a bit more. I know I'm off center and not perfectly aligned with this display, so it can be a little hard to see the shift. But I'm liking that just a little bit more. We'll have to keep an eye on that left corner. That's getting very, very hot. It's not blown out. So you can see the histogram there. I'm not blown out. And I'm not using any filters. I'm just playing with the ISO to keep my shutter speed under 30 seconds, just to fire off shots to get the composition. That's the goal right now. It's not to get perfect focus or even perfect exposure, just to get the composition straight. All right, finally getting a better look at this place. So here's the base of the crater. As he climbs really high up to the sky, and I'm set up here, kind of shooting this portion of the cove. I'm not getting the full curve in a single frame. As I mentioned earlier, I am going to do a pano and sweep across here so I can get all of this good stuff and then include some of the rocks over to the, let's call it the northeast. That's roughly due east. And if you're wondering what this little stand is in the center, and there's some metal railings and so forth, there's actually an area here where these women dive and collect little living sea creatures, and then they bring them up to the shore and cook them for you here. So I'll probably end up brushing those away in post, but it's a minor detail to deal with. That's how we set up on the camera. F16 and letting the camera do the metering right now. At the moment I have no filters on. It's still pretty low light. Focus points. Let's see what we have here. I'm focusing at about oops, I actually switched out of manual focus. There we go. About 1/3 into the frame. You can see my little cursor moving along around that line. So focusing in on that line, let's go ahead and hit snap focus. Switch that back to manual. And we can already see I'm starting to get some zebra stripes there up around the peak. That's going to be a continual challenge, so we'll take exposure compensation down, and that will take care of that. Well, I've got about another 10 minutes before sunrise proper. And then I just have to play the waiting game because it will take some additional time for the sun to light up the full cliff face. I'm guessing another 20 to 30 minutes on that, but we'll see how that goes. And we'll just keep adjusting the camera settings to make sure we're not blowing out any highlights. The sun's finally come up and it is starting to light up the hill. I've switched to using a filter, and that's mainly to get a little bit of a drag on the water. Otherwise, the water looks a little bit harsh. So just trying to dial in between 1 and 2 seconds. I'm at a 4 stop right now, and that may increase to a 6 stop depending on how long I'm here and how much light's coming into this little cove. Well, tip of the week is using higher ISOs to compose in the dark. Let your camera collect a whole bunch of light. It's going to be grainy. It doesn't have to be in focus. You're just using the basic shapes that are in your scene to get a composition. So that way, when the light comes up, you're not scrambling to get your composition set up. You've done as much work as you can before the light rises. And in most cases, you can get 90 to 95% of the way there. And you're just doing minor tweaks as opposed to having to pick up your tripod legs and run down a beach or scramble to another location to get a good composition. That's going to do it for this week's In the Field. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please let me know somehow. Share the video with a friend, comments below, likes, +1s, all that stuff is always appreciated. If you got questions about photography, drop them in the comments, or you can shoot me a message through my website if you want to keep it private. And until next time, my name is Scott Davenport, and happy shooting.